Hello regulars, welcome back. And to our new viewers, don't forget to subscribe, like and leave a comment. We really look forward to hearing from you. In this week's video we are off to Corfu in Greece. We are Natalie and Ian, and together we live a life less ordinary. And we are taking you on board to enjoy this journey with us. In last week's video we'd come up through the Corinth Canal and we were anchored off of Galaxidi. We paid a visit to Delphi and we had a 30-knot blast of wind under the Rion Bridge into the Ionian, which is where we are now and where you pick up the story from. Now, everyone's been telling us the Ionian's super busy, but I don't see another boat.
Well, we're 2 hours from Meganisi. There's one boat over there.
And we have to be in Corfu for a family visit, so we are not hanging around. We went to anchor in Vliho. And Vliho is a large natural bay with a massive amount of space for other people to anchor, which means generally you can find space. We have sat out winds in excess of 70 knots in this anchorage, so we know it quite well. We also know it's a very soft, muddy bottom. Good holding, not so good cleaning.
Are you ready to be blown away?
Okay.
Stay ready.
It's time. It's time to give away some Anchorite chain marking systems. We have 3 to give away. You've been answering our questions. Everybody's got them correct, which I'm very pleased with. And we are about to give away 3 sets of Anchorite chain markers.
Hello everybody. Are you feeling lucky? You feeling lucky?
I'm always lucky.
Good. We have our prize draw for our lucky 3 winners of our Anchorite chain marking systems. So we have a nice little technological app thing with all the names in, and those who are in it with a chance to win are Chris, Andy Dent, Mike, Jasmine Palmer, Tim Griffin, Sail with the Gales, Matt Clark, Parr, Windward to Eden, Lewis Backover, Rod and Caravos. So those are the people who are in the draw.
Good luck.
Good luck. I'm gonna press the button. The first winner is
No.
Mr. Matthew Clark.
Matt Clark, in case Matt, you guys won't know this, but Matt Clark is the coxswain of one of the Channel Islands RNLI rescue boats.
Yes.
Nice, sweet. So hide slice.
Hide slice. Okay.
And spin again. So this is for the second of the freebies that we're giving away.
Spin. Windward to Eden.
Second winner is the sailing channel Windward to Eden. Congratulations guys, well done. Hide slice.
Oh, hide slice. Chances are getting better every time.
Spin again. And our third winner is Caravos. And I do believe he's the Greek guy with the charter boat.
I don't know.
I think so. I'll get in touch with you, but I'll send you a message.
Thank you very much for everyone who entered.
Thanks everybody, thank you.
Congratulations to the winners.
And if the lucky 3 would like to drop me a line, I will forward your information onto Anchorite and they will send out these chain markers directly to your location. And if you weren't one of our lucky 3 winners, don't despair. If you go onto Anchorite's website, use the code BLOWNAWAY10, you will get a 10% discount on any purchases. And once again we are on the approaches to the Lefkas Canal. Start to see channel markers now. To say the Ionian hasn't been as bad traffic-wise as we'd expected it to be, which is good news. We're on our way up to Corfu because of a family visit. Hopefully the heat wave dissipates, but not too soon. We're kind of anticipating thunder and lightning, which is not what we want in Corfu. We've done that, got that badge. But the way this works for us is that we're entering the canal on the south and then heading along the canal to the floating bridge, which is here. And unfortunately for us, there's a current behind, which means I can't hold station at the bridge because Blown Away's long keel doesn't do that sort of thing. So what I've done is reduced my boat speed down to minimum because it's an hour to the bridge, which is 3 miles, and I was making 6 knots in the current. I'm now on idle speed and still making 4.5 knots. So we are going to be there early. There is a small basin up there, and depending on how many boats are there, it might be that we can just do laps, which is what we normally do. But we are literally wheel hard over and then just going around in circles and open it, everyone else gets out of the way. And the reason for that is that being a heavy long keel boat, we don't have maneuverability. So when we get to the bridge, if there's a lot of other boats there and they are all doing the same thing and milling around, it's very difficult for us to outmaneuver them. So we tend to get there and then just kind of hover in the basin and wait. And that's what we're going to do this time. And the canal is currently not busy. I would say this is fairly quiet. There's one that didn't make the canal. Got a bit of current flowing down through here today, which does not help us. So on the approaches now to Lefkas Marina. It's quite a busy marina, as you can see. Hundreds of boats.
We're already in neutral, honey.
Oh, bugger. So there's currently a 2.5 knot current running down the canal with a wind up behind us as well. We've been in neutral for the last 5 minutes trying to scrub some speed off because it is 10:40. It doesn't open for another 20 minutes. It never opens early. It's Greece, way more likely to open late. We're going to do circuits just up there once we get there.
Lefkas Canal, Santa Mora floating bridge. As an island, it keeps tax relief because it's island status, whereas if they didn't have this bridge and it was just a permanent road, they'd all have to pay more taxes. Or so we've been told. Lots of traffic, they try and get us through as quickly as possible. So for those of you that don't speak Greek, that little confrontation was purely about the guy on the bridge telling the guys in the boats going the other way not to leave such a big gap in front of them. There's another one just coming around the corner.
They've missed it, he's closing it already.
He should.
Even that little rib ain't getting through.
Well, the rib doesn't need to, does it?
I guess not. Snooze you lose. He's the worst guy for that job. Seriously, he is the worst guy for that job. He is so stressed out all the time.
So the boats that have just rushed all the way down, you can just see this one in the distance here, just coming around the sandbar. He was trying desperately to make the 11 o'clock bridge, but it's actually already 12 minutes past 11 bridge is closed.
And he opened it late.
He opened it 4 minutes late.
He was 4 minutes late opening it, and he's closed it within 7 minutes.
The Lefkas Canal Bridge.
I promise you, we did not go over land. It's charted wrong. It's in the wrong position. We know about it from last time. Blown Away is a heavy old girl. She weighs in at 25 tons and she needs a bit of wind to push her along. Unfortunately, that's not very common in the Ionian. We are sailing north. This is Corfu in the distance, and as you can see, it is covered in smoke. I'm not sure they've got these fires under control at all. And we can actually smell it in the air now as well. And we have about a week to wait. We are anchored now in the lee of the old fort at Corfu town, which is just a short walk to the airport. Corfu Old Town, passage between the fort and the mainland, which is uber shallow and getting shallower.
Yeah. We have got our outboard tilted slightly to make us as shallow as possible.
Our domestic batteries are completely buggered. They simply will not hold a charge anymore, which means all of our 24 volt systems are down. Whilst we were in Vliho, we had ordered some new batteries online to be delivered to the yacht club at Vliho. Thank you, Rory and Vicky. Unfortunately, they didn't turn up in time before we had to leave. But one of our Kofi supporters came to our rescue. This knight in shining armour is collecting our batteries from Vliho and driving them to Igamenitsa, which is the ferry terminal on the mainland. So all we need to do is get from Corfu to Igamenitsa to collect our new batteries. So we are off to the ferry terminal.
Those of you who watch our videos, yes, we did take Nelson for a walk just there.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
We've been on like a battery mission.
Hey, you can't tell everyone.
Nothing's ever easy, is it?
No. It could have been easy. As it turned out, it could have been really easy. 10 days.
Arrived early.
But they arrived in Vliho and we were already in Corfu.
Yes, thank you.
Da-da-da!
Spot anyway. So we've got...
Thank you!
You're welcome, darling.
Show us how you do it.
like a gazelle.
So there's little pegs in the wall. So you have to scale down the wall into the water, which is sometimes water and sometimes isn't, to make your way forward to goat. Ta-da!
Don't you talk to me about boat life. I've been doing this for 23 years.
So while Ian is undoing the dinghy, our lithium batteries got delivered to Vliho Yacht Club, and once we ordered them, it then said it was going to take 12 days, which then put us very tight to Sam's holiday. So we decided to come to Corfu and to pick them up later. As it happened, our lovely long-term Kofi donators, Adventures of Captain Svetlana, were down in Vliho with a car, and they actually offered to drive them to Igumnitsa, which is on the mainland. And once they drove there, we took the ferry. Well, we took the dinghy, then the taxi, and then the ferry across to Igumnitsa to meet them. And we've just picked them up and done the ferry and a taxi back. And the last stage is just goat. I did check it was attached to the wall. I'll see you at the steps. A lot of you women out there probably think that he's doing this so I just don't get wet feet. He's doing it purely so the batteries don't get wet. Usually I'm climbing over that wall too. Okay, the batteries.
Manage?
Yep.
They're not too heavy, eh?
No. There's never space for me in this dinghy. Never space.
No.
Days.
You've already said all that.
Yeah.
And on the tracking, it ends up stuck in the same location for 5 days. And then they don't answer emails explaining to you what's going on. So you're like, okay, well, it's stuck in customs or whatever. Let's go on with life and worry about it later. And then we end up traipsing all over the place in buses, trains, taxis, ferries, dinghies, goats and everything else to go get the sodding batteries. It's annoying. I'm worried about these packing straps.
Yeah, so am I.
Try not to use the packing straps. Juke on camera. Routine BA. We're weak. Put another 10 meters of chain out. And hope that the wind doesn't switch too badly. We're quite shallow anchored at the moment. And all we can do now is sit back and wait and hope that the sail doesn't pass directly over the top of us. Oh, well, I guess this one's coming straight at us. Nothing we can do about it now. We're just going to ride it out. And as scary as these lightning strikes are because of their proximity, they're actually quite fascinating. This storm rolled on for a couple of hours, and alarmingly this seemed to be every evening. We were sat on anchor, we were watching thunder and lightning. And like with most of these storms, as the thunder and lightning passes overhead, the wind direction changes and anchors break out, boats start to drag, and crew run around on deck frantically trying to sort out their problems. The wind peaked at 32 knots, and I would say at least half of the boats in the anchorage dragged anchor. Unfortunately, only one of them ended up on the rocks. Shift in a minute. And as much as I love Corfu, I have seen too many of these lightning storms for me to want to stay much longer. Tell who's been through this before.
What's
Like
in their cockpit?
The one in the cockpit with the engine running, their coats on, and no paddleboards left out, all the instruments are on. You can do another shout out to Manson Boss Anchor. Okay, now someone's in trouble. And that alarm on our radio is a DSC alert, digital selective calling. It is a distress call from a boat in trouble.
Captain, please give your position. Outside Petrie Harbour in Corfu. Over. Captain, I need GPS position, digit by digit. You're outside the harbour of Petrie, just out of Corfu. The boat name is Yardo. Captain, what is your ship's name? Your ship's name? Oh, what? Sorry? Over? What is your ship's name? Our boat name is Yardo. We are with Athenian Yachts. Yardo.
That's another one. That's not even the same distress. No.
Please repeat, over. Captain, you are outside of port of Corfu, is that correct? Correct, we are outside Petrie Harbour. The boat name is Yada, over. Can you spell, sir, your ship's name? Ship name is Yada, over.
Yankee Alpha Delta Alpha.
Yeah.
And then you got to say it all over again.
We have collided with another boat. We have no anchor and no engine, over. How many persons are on board? 8 people on the boat. How many persons are on board? 8 people are on board. Captain, please give me a telephone number, 07983 20.
And that is why we don't use mobile phones in an emergency. They don't work. You can't hand over your mobile number. That's crazy.
Your telephone number is low. Telephone number is 0.
So rather than use a VHF radio, which we can all hear, they're going to redirect the traffic to a mobile phone number that only one person can hear.
Sorry?
Makes no sense. The whole point of a distress call is it is an alert to everybody in the vicinity. To transfer it to a mobile phone,
44
crazy.
07.
So these guys have been struck by lightning. They are south of us, but they are too far south.
Other boat is okay. They're on anchor, but we are holding on to them for now.
They are too far south for us to be able to assist them. They have put out a mayday call, so as I understand it, their anchor is dragged, their engine won't start, and they've been struck by lightning.
They will call you on the telephone. Please stand by on the telephone.
Telephone.
Okay, thank you. Over. Okay, I can give you also the telephone of the boat.
RNLI, I love you. That's enough of that circus act. All the people on board the boat were okay. Apparently were struck by lightning. They lost their engine, I guess the electronics fried, and also their anchor dragged, and they hit another boat.
This one's for Simon. Fire engines are already out to rescue people.
Well, that's the end of another action-packed week. And once again, a big shout out to our Patreon supporters, the McKenna family, David, Eric, Captain Svetlana. And thank you for supporting Nat's terrifying coffee habit. And of course, not forgetting our Patreon supporters, Matt, Michael, Ian, Par, Miles, Eric, Timmy, JG, Graham, and the new guy, Jeff Husby. Welcome on board, sir. And as always, thank you to everybody for watching the video and supporting us. If you'd like to join the Patreon team, link in the comments down below. See you next week.